Okay, so Portland, Maine, a nonprofit there, is proposing that the city buy a used cruise ship to serve as a homeless shelter.
It's an interesting concept, as you can imagine. A lot of folks talking about it. Dia Davidson joins us now with that and more in the buzz.
And you know, a lot of senior citizens are even looking at cruises as a way to find a place to stay versus doing, like, you know, homes, nursing homes and assisted living. So, you know, Memory Works director Kenneth Capron is proposing a cruise ship on Portland's waterfront be turned into a homeless shelter, as well as an option for affordable and immigrant housing. It would also house various social services. Capron says he is serious about the idea and is applying for a grant that would fund a feasibility study. He estimates an 800-passenger, 300 cruise ship would cost anywhere from $5 million to $100 million. The ship would be permanently docked along Portland's waterfront and would be the first of its kind in the world. What a wonderful way to kind of recycle and reuse, you know?
Yeah, thinking outside the box for sure.
Exactly.
When you first hear it, you think, are they just trying to get rid of these people and get them? But then when you actually hear what they're saying, I mean, that thing is so nice. Think how much it took to build it, and to reuse it in this way.
And
it's
then
actually
the
kind
jobs
of
that would be sort of from that, because you would have to have security, you'd have to have housekeeping, you'd have to have you know, all kinds of different things that would be added onto it. So it would be kind of a win-win, I think, for everybody.
A lot of cost up front, it seems, but then maybe over time it kind of pays for itself a little bit.
Because think about having to build a building or buildings, you know, and just spread it around. All right, well, police are looking for a man who broke into a Texas woman's home and stole some items. But the pictures he took of himself and left for her to find are what really have folks concerned. Take a look. According to police, last Wednesday, a woman returned to her home in Rowlett to find a burglar had entered, went through her belongings, and used her camera to take pornographic pictures of himself. Yeah, the man also left a sexually explicit message telling her he had been watching as well as following her. Police have put up notices in the neighborhood asking homeowners to check surveillance video for clues. Police do not believe the suspect knows the victim. That's some scary.
That is
very
terrifying.
Scary. Very terrifying. Yeah.
Oh my gosh! And then to know that he's been in your home and touched your
stuff.
things.
I know.
I don't think I could stay there.
Which you want to think he's lying. Maybe he just hit this random house and has never, you know.
Well, it
but
appears that they don't know each other, but still to leave the evidence to be bold and brazen enough to take pictures. And then pornographic pictures, probably nothing to really see probably there. You know, and to leave that behind. I mean, we're kind of poking a little fun at it to a degree.
I hope he was stupid enough to include his face in the photos.
Well, but then guess what? Fingerprints.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Didn't so fingerprints, exactly. So hopefully they'll be able to find him. Yeah, that's horrible.
That's really scary.
All right, but here's a little lighter one, and there's a new California State Parks historic trail now open to the public. Only thing, you will have to dive underwater just to get to it. It's a unique look at Lake Tahoe's past. It's now just a dive away at Emerald Bay State Park. Scuba and snorkel diving visitors now have access to 4 locations in the bay to explore the resting place for many boats, launches, and barges used during the 1920s and 30s. Each spot has markers explaining the history of the vessel, what it's used for, and how it got there. You know, that's pretty cool. And think about it, you know, you're using, you know, certain muscle groups to walk. Now you're using a whole nother set to dive.
Yeah. So they show trail markers and stuff. I mean, think if you ever get, you know, if you get off the trail when you're on a normal path on the ground. If you got off the trail in the water, that could be a little tough.
I'd be like,
I guess you just go straight up.
There you go. And
worst comes to worst, you just
go straight up, and then they would be able to find you. And that's today's bus.
That's really cool, Dia. Thank you.
All right, stick with us. We've got more traffic and weather coming your way next on LEX 18 News at 4.